What up, everybody? This is Toti for channel Seraphim, and today I'm bringing you something a bit different. I guess you can notice, but I'm bringing you a deck tech and a commander deck tech at that. Yep, commander is out there on Magic Online. You can go and buy the decks. They are pretty sweet, some really great cards for commander. And I did just that, and the deck I built is a Kalia the Vast deck. So, in case you don't know this little girl, what she does is, as you can read here, whenever you attack someone, you can put an angel, demon, or dragon into the battlefield attacking that guy. So she cheats some guys into play, which is also always sweet. And that's what our deck is based on. So let's go through what we can cheat into play then. We have our angels here. Angel of Despair is always a nice one. This is again one of the new ones, Basandra Battle Seraph. She basically dominates combat, so if you are attacking with Kalia and your opponent lets the trigger resolve, then you can get this one into play and they can't play anything pretty much and can't kill your guys, which is always nice. It's always appreciated. And yeah, she's pretty sweet. Also, she comes in the deck. The deck is called Heavenly Inferno, I believe, in case you wanna look it up. This is another of the new guys, the new mythic commander dudes. He is a pretty sweet one as well. He's an angel and he returns creatures from your opponent's graveyard to play under your control, so that's pretty sweet. Angelic Arbiter, that's another one who likes to annoy your opponents, not letting him attack or cast spells, depending on what he chooses. Some protection for your guys. Exalted Angel is always sweet, gaining some life. A Dark Elf Valkyrie is as well to protect your dudes, because your Kalia is pretty weak, being a Justice 2/2, so you need some protection from her, for her. Where were we? Valkyrie. Then we have a Karmic Guide, which is pretty cool as well. He reanimates guys basically for you, so that's a nice one. Blinding Angel is also protection. Whenever your opponent has too much creatures, you can attack them and not let them attack you back. Crypt Angel, similar to the Karmic Guide, just kind of a bit worse. Rhea is another sweet one who is kind of like a Karmic Guide, but a lot better because she does it every turn. So those are our sweet angels. Now let's go with the fearsome dragons. We have our Yosei there, just tapping stuff if he dies. Oros is always a nice one, just kind of slag storms your opponent, or rather slag storms everything when he attacks. Charger, this one is pretty sweet. Gets you a double activation out of Kalia, which is always nice. Mordant Dragon, this just gets some damage if you want to deal with an annoying creature. It kills creatures when it deals damage. Dragon Mage is pretty sweet, because it basically refills your hand and gives you a lot of stuff to put into play with Kalia, so good times on that. This guy does a small earthquake whenever he enters the battlefield, so if you have a horde of tokens, he takes care of that pretty easily. Ancient Hellkite is similar to the Mordant Dragon, he deals some damage. Eternal Dragon is pretty cool because he cycles and gets you a plains in times of need, or otherwise you can just put him into play. Bogard and Hellkite, self-explanatory. Then the demons now. Spirit of the Night is a pretty fat fatty, that's just what he does. He's fat and he smashes faces. Stronghold Overseer is another one and almost impossible to block because he's flying in shadow. I don't think he can be blocked by any creature in the game, but yeah, there you go. And then this guy is pretty insane in this deck, because what he does is, as you can see, Flying Trample, whenever you attack with him you have to sacrifice half your non-demon permanent, so that kind of sucks. The thing is, whenever you cheat him into play with Kalia, he doesn't attack, he enters the battlefield attacking, so the whenever attacks ability doesn't trigger. So you can get around sacrificing your stuff, and whenever he deals damage to an opponent, he has to sacrifice half of his permanents. So this guy is pretty sweet. Also, look at that art. How can I not play this? This is sweet. Yeah. So those are the guys I want to cheat into play. Here on this side we have some equipment to protect our little Kalia here, and both Stoneforge Mystic and Stone Hero Giant, which is kind of like just a bigger Stoneforge Mystic, to fetch them up. Our equipments are Champion's Helm. This is one of the new ones from the Commander decks. It's pretty much +2/+2 and hexproof for your commanders. In case you haven't seen the Magic 2012 spoiler, hexproof is basically Troll Shroud. Dark Seal Plate makes her indestructible. The Cloak gives her Shroud and Unblockable, which is a good combination because she can't be killed by combat damage either. Lightning Greaves, classic, is a staple in Commander. And then Stoneforger is pretty sweet. The +4/+0 is not so relevant, but the ability is. Basically, if you unattach this, you can search your library for a red or white instant, and with convert mana cost for less, and play it for free. And it's especially cool because we have this little sweet removal here, all converted mana cost for less. Rather, let's say removal and sweet spells. So we can search up Mortify, Terminate, Condemn, which is really good at dealing with commanders. Swords to Plowshares, just very efficient. Wild Ricochet is pretty, so that's what creature removal we have. Wild Ricochet is pretty sweet. You can really surprise someone when you just unattach the Forger and get this. Can lead to some epic states. Return to Dust, not the best to search with it, but actually I might just remove this in a later build. I'm not too happy with this card, but at the moment it's there. Just artifact and enchantment removal. You need a bunch of these main deck, or well, to play them. There's no main deck or sideboard in Commander, but you need to play a bunch of these in Commander because there's a lot of artifacts and enchantments. Having said that, there is Allay and Shattering Pulse, which basically do the same thing. These are especially cool because you can buy them back when you get them free with a Sunforger, or just play them, and they basically remove or rather destroy enchantment and artifacts. They're kind of the same thing. Pretty sweet. And then Orm's Thunder, one of my favorite cards. It disenchants, and if you pay the kicker, it deals damage to a creature as well. So it pretty much does everything. Over here then, we have our mass removal in Decree of Pain, Austere Command. This is really flexible, that's really what you want. Damnation, another Wrath of God, and Hallowed Burial. This one is especially good at dealing with commanders because it puts them in the bottom and they never come back. Then over here we have just a bunch of card advantage cards. Scroll Rack is pretty much a staple in Commander, pretty insane. Mind's Eye, I just love this card. I played it in every Commander deck. You basically draw 3 cards a turn if you have 3 mana, which is pretty nice. Land Tax is always good times. Also combines well with this. Phyrexian Arena, you kind of have to play this if you're playing black. And a couple of tutors, Grim Tutor and Demonic Tutor. So basically the best. Not Vampiric because it costs too much. Then Quicksilver Amulet is So someone is happy to have our videos there. So, what was I saying? Erratic Portal and Quicksilver Amulet are just utility artifacts. This one can cheat guys into play as well in case your Kalia dies, because if this guy, she gets kind of killed, you are left with a bunch of useless guys in your hand that you can't really do anything with, and this thing gets him into play. Also, it's reprinted in Magic 2012, so woot! Erratic Portal allows you to return some of these dudes to your hands, because a lot of them have sweet enter the battlefield abilities, like say this, and you want to maybe reuse them. Then just some mana acceleration. Every single the commander deck has to have a Soul Ring, it's not even optional. Sweet drawing as well with a foil and everything. Anyway, and then some just random utility stuff like Solemn Simulacrum is always a good one to have. Mother of Runes protects Cercalia. No Mercy, just trying this out, see how it works. So basically what it says, whenever something deals damage to you, you kill it, which kind of disencourages people from attacking you, which is sweet. That's also something I'm testing, just pumping all of our dudes so you kill them faster. And Consuming Vapors is good too, for the guys that play like no creatures Progenitus. Like me, actually, I have one of those decks, it's pretty sweet. Maybe I'll do a deck technique later. And then just a bunch of lands here. I'm going to go quickly through them. Nothing too special. This Bojuka Bog is pretty useful for... There's a lot of commander decks that are just based off graveyard strategies. All of the stuff that does things with legendary creatures are pretty good, like the ones from Kamigawa we have here. Couple of duels, then basically cards that add mana of any color. Some of the bounce lands. Then here we have all of our search lands, which are pretty nice because they can fetch up these guys, which are the duels. All duels, then a couple of basics here, obviously. Temple of the False God is pretty sweet, and then just Mikokoro to draw some cards. Reliquary Tower is kind of useful as well, and then just to double up on any land we might want. And a Maze of Ith, which is always not really a card. Like we go more here in the utility part. Pretty sweet. Removes attacking creatures. So yeah, that's our deck, and it's pretty sweet. So let's try some games. I'm not gonna record a whole game. I'm just gonna maybe show you different parts, or I'll just pause through the game so you can see a fast forward version of a game, because commander games are pretty long normally, and that would just bore you. A couple of things I want to mention though before. There are some other strategies that I don't play for this deck. One sweet combo is, for example, with where is he? Hellkite Charger plus Sword of Feast and Famine. I will go pretty well here because we can search up the sword, and with these two cards we can actually just win. We can go for infinite damage, because we get to untap all our lands and then attack again, and so we get to put all our dudes into play and get to deal infinite damage to everyone. Well, not to everyone, to the one guy. Actually, no, to everyone. Yeah, so you basically just win if you attack with this and Sword of Feast and Famine. But yeah, I don't like those cheesy I win just now infinite combos in Commander. I'm more like kind of like a Commander purist in a way. I don't like Eldrazi with a lot of Annihilate. I don't like infinite combos. I don't like mass land destruction. I don't like all these cheesy cards. I like to play good Commander games. Which brings me to another strategy that I'm not playing, which is pretty decent with this. I've seen some deck lists that play a lot of mass land destruction, because once you get this guy into play or this girl into play and you blow up all the lands, you basically just win because you can play all your guys for free. So yeah, like Armageddon, Desolation Angel, Boom, Bust, or whatever it's called, and just all the imaginable land destruction spells. But yeah, I think that's cheesy, so I'm not gonna play it. Right, so without further ado, I'll show you what this deck can do.